So today in this video, we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of purchasing a home or selling your home in 2022. Should you purchase or sell your home in 2022, or should you wait till next year? That's what we're talking about today, so don't go anywhere. Hi, my friends. Welcome to another edition of Tuesday Tips with Brent and Lee. If this is the first time to my channel, my name is Lee Brickey, and I'm joined with my good friend Brent Starts, my lender. And today we're talking about the pros and cons of buying and selling in 2022. Is it a good idea to buy and sell right now with rates at 5%? Or should you wait till next year and see rates come down and prices come down? Because right now we're dealing with both prices and we're dealing with rates, because prices are continuing to go up and rates seem to be continuing to go up. Brent and I have some good news for us on that today, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But if this is the first time you've been to my site, please don't forget to slap that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our real estate tips and tours, because on this video we talk about real estate, mortgages, and money. And eventually, if you're interested in any of those things, we're going to talk about something you're interested in. And don't forget, I am a full-time real estate agent. So if you're looking to buy or sell anywhere in Palm Beach County or the Treasure Coast, Brent and I together have sold hundreds of homes, right, Brent?
That's right.
And helped lots of people make the right decision when buying and selling in this great state of Florida we live in. So don't forget to reach out to either one of us. Our information is in the information section below and on your screen right now. The cons, Brent. I mean, only two cons I see right now, because let's first talk about when people are talking about the market dropping, right? Or going backwards, or we're seeing a 2007, 2008 crash, right? You do have indicators that indicate that. So not to go into 2008, 2009, but that was just all bad paper. It was a buyer's market back then, not a seller's market. We're in a seller's market. We don't have any bad paper. Let's just talk about, we can take that as there's no bad paper. It's so hard to get a loan right now. So, I mean, it's easing up a little bit with rates going up, but it's still very difficult. The banks have become very, they're looking at every piece of paperwork. They're looking at your job. They're looking at everything now, making way better decisions of who they're giving loans to, because they don't want to see that happen either. So they're very profitable right now. So with that being said, what we're looking at now is a supply and demand problem. So the only con that I could see right now is number one, if you're selling your home, it might be hard to find a home you're looking for, right? The other con would be rates are higher right now, right? They're 5%. You could be sitting on a 2.5%, 3%, 3.5% loan. So you're going to come out of that into a higher loan. You see any other indicators out there that would say, hey, look, don't buy or sell?
That's what we're seeing. Hey, I'm on a 3% or 3.5% loan right now. Can I get into another home with a similar payment? I'm downsizing. I'm upgrading. That type of conversation. But I love my loan I'm in now because rates were at historical all-time lows. Several months ago.
Right.
And so I see that as the greatest block that people are running into. And right now there's a couple solutions for that. We're talking to people about 15-year mortgages, for example. They're full half point to 5/8 lower in rate than a 30-year fixed. Something that's coming back into vogue is 5, 7, 10-year fixed loans, where they're adjustable, but they're fixed for 5, 7, 10 years. And so those are in the low to mid 4s. And so you're not that far off. So, and I think that, rates, they go up and down, so they could go back down again. I wouldn't put someone in an adjustable loan that has a fixed income or anything like that. It's not appropriate for some people. But there are mortgage solutions to kind of work with that situation. If someone has to upgrade, needs an additional bedroom, or needs to downsize, that's another conversation. But that's really what we see. The interest rate they're on.
And then also with sellers, we've been doing a lot of lease backs where the seller sells the home, and then the buyer leases it back to them for a certain period of time, because they might be renting, or they work a lease back on their home, whatever the case may be. So those are also a lease back solution is always a solution, is sometimes a good solution. And we've been doing more this year than we've ever done. So lease back, leasing back your house. If you have any questions on that, you can reach out or shoot me a comment and I'll reply to that. Also, if you want to learn about all the different ways that Brent's talking about, doing that, shoot us a comment. He can answer that comment. We'll answer that comment for you, or you can reach out to him and ask him directly. So speaking of those two things, let's talk about, the pros of buying right now. A lot of people are looking at this. We're heading for a recession, right? If you're watching the market news, everyone, well, not everyone, but there's a good majority thinking that we're heading for a recession. And that's not guaranteed, just like rates going up and down aren't guaranteed. A lot of this has to do with the Fed and their decisions and what Jay Powell decides to do. But we are looking at, some real issues in the marketplace right now that could lead to a recession if not headed off. So let's talk about that, because a lot of people think that, oh, we're heading for a recession, that's going to kill the housing market. But, I'm going to show a slide here that shows you that recession doesn't equal housing crisis, because over history, housing has actually gone up and sales have gone up with housing as we have fallen into a recession other than 2008. 1991, there was a drop. 2008 was a drop, but history shows that in most cases that a recession does not mean that the housing crisis is coming. So talk on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, the indicators you mentioned, housing crisis is usually predicated by lower equity in homes and housing. So right now, there's never been higher equity positions. And so people have something to lose. They're not going to lose their job and just walk away from their home. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of skin in the game, if you will. So that's an indicator. The time that homes are on the market, the average market time is far below the historical average. Homes are selling fast still. You're not seeing 15 offers. You're not competing with 15 different competitors when trying to purchase a home now. So it's much more reasonable. But that's another indicator. When those market times are 4, 6, 8, 10 months, that's where it's been previously. Now it's 4, 8, 10 days, which is better, but it's not months. And so those are really typical indicators, and supply and demand. There's just too many people that want homes and not enough homes. So the crisis is, there is a housing crisis, it's just not enough homes. And so it's a supply and demand thing. So it's still very much a seller's market right now. So, and it was a buyer's market in 2008. So very different set of circumstances, very different market. And so.
And what I'm looking at right now, I just pulled it up while we're talking, is there's a tremendous amount of savings still in the US. A lot of people are sitting on a lot of cash. I mean, the average, savings is higher than it's ever been right now. Yeah. So a lot of people are sitting on a lot of cash out there right now also. And especially with the market, the stock market, they're pulling their money out of the stock market and looking for more safe investments. And that's why you're seeing, especially here in Florida, which is a problem for renters, is that these big companies or these hedge funds are coming in, and real estate companies, and coming in and buying up all of these properties and then using them as rentals. So that is a huge problem. So, and another thing, I've heard last night on WPTV, which is Channel 5 News here in Palm Beach County, and everybody should watch it, called Priced Out of Paradise. So go to their website, Channel 5 what is it?
WPTV, I think. Right?
WPTV, right?
Yeah.
And check out Priced Out of Paradise. They had a really great town council yesterday. It was phenomenal. You can check that out. They talk about all the things we're talking about right now, but there's 850 people, more than 860 people a day moving to Florida still. I mean, we're seeing a tremendous amount of job creation here. we're seeing people continue to move to Florida, and we have a low housing supply. Now, we have seen across the board in Florida right now that inventory is increasing, but it's my opinion, you tell me what you think, is that if you're a seller, it's a good time to sell because you can find a property and you're still in control of the sale. So if you need to do a lease back, you can. But as long as we're seeing a supply and demand problem, we're going to continue to see an upward pressure on the market, real estate market, until supply catches up with demand. And I don't know when that's going to be, not with the amount of people moving to Florida and for all the reasons they're moving here. Number one reason they're moving here, it's just cheaper to live. And that's a big thing for people right now, especially now. And especially with all the jobs that are coming to Florida right now, the corporations moving into Florida, it's creating a lot of new opportunities for people to get a job here.
Good paying jobs too.
Good paying jobs, yes.
And, I think, and I came from California 12 years ago, and we kind of sensed that, hey, it's kind of run its course at that time, you know what I mean? Because you could see that, it's a far, far cry from, as far as the cost of living in California. It's just amazing the difference. And no income tax here. It's just really, if you're coming from somewhere else, I know a lot of the locals here are really adjusting to this, mindset of where the values of their homes are. But it's all a supply and demand thing. And now this, I think COVID really let us know that, hey, you don't need to work in downtown, Manhattan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you want to find out what's going on in California, look at one of the real agents here in my company. Dan Parker has a very successful YouTube site, and he's in San Diego, and he will tell you prices are on the rise in San Diego right now because of people moving around California trying to stay in California. So you're seeing upward pressure on prices. And the only place that and when you watch this Channel 5 town hall, one of the things that the Florida Atlantic University head of business department there said is that as long as we have all of these people moving in and all of this, and we're still short on supply with rentals and housing, prices will continue to go up. Now they might slow down some because of rates, and we might see some leveling, but we won't see the market go backwards.
Right. Well, and a lot of times people are telling me too, hey, well, I'll just rent. And tell them about rents too, Lee.
Oh yeah. I mean, rents are as high as mortgages, and so I mean, by the time you put first, last, and security down, I mean, you're right there pretty much at a down payment, and your mortgage, even where rates are right now, is probably going to be a little less if not exact, the same or a little less for sure. Yeah, because
right there.
You're right there. I mean, so why give your money to someone else if you're planning on staying and you can afford to buy? I mean, I always tell people, look, if it isn't we have a client that we were working with, and he can't find the exact house he wants. So he's like, I'm just going to wait. What are you waiting on? Prices are moving faster than most people's incomes. And I don't want to sound, when I say that, I don't want to sound like I don't understand, because I do. I have a family and I have a son that I'm about to get into a home, and he's not happy with what he's about to pay either. And he's 25 years old. He's up in Orlando, and, but he's making, good money, and he needs to purchase a home because, he's renting and just throwing that money away. And so I realized that, that a lot of people are, might think, hey, I'm just a real estate agent and I'm telling you to go out and buy, but I'm doing the same thing with my family and my friends who are close to me, telling them, hey, you need to buy it. A buddy of mine in Denver told me the other day, man, prices here are so high, I'm just waiting for them to go down. He's sitting on $80,000 in cash. I'm like, dude, you need to buy a house right now. I mean, the market is slowed a little bit, where you're not going to get into the bidding wars you were before. And even if it's not the exact home you want, just get into a home. And going back to our client that, he's like, I'll just wait, but prices are going up, in double digits still. And, and even if, it slows down to, let's say Palm Beach County slows down to 5% a year, Port St. Lucie has been 10% a year for a long time, over 10 years now. So your income, if you're in a job, it's still not growing as fast as the market is. And so, I mean, even if, like I told a client the other day, I said, look, if you don't want to live in the place that you're buying in, stay where you are and rent, right? And just buy a house and rent that one. So at least you can get in the market and start seeing some equity.
Right. Build something,
Build something.
I tell people too, just do the quick math. I mean, just a real quick math, a $500,000 house. And I think it's very conservative to say 5% appreciation. Inflation's much higher than that right now, right? We're seeing much, much higher figures than that, but let's say conservative 5%, that's $25,000, and so I'm like thinking, well, if interest rates are, a tick higher, you might be paying $200-$300 more, but that's only, $3,600 to $4,000 more a year. And you're missing out on $25,000 of appreciation. You know what I mean? Right. And those are conservative numbers. So a lot of times, you kind of, you can't, step over pennies to, you know what I mean?
Step over dollars for pennies. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like you do the math. It's like, yeah, I get it. I mean, and there's some people that are, another strategy too, it's something we're just starting to talk to people about. People are sitting on, a lot of equity and they want or need to move and they don't want to get off their loan. I said, well, don't, keep it, turn that into a rental, get a little piggyback second on your home, something like that. You can still get, decent rates with that. That's your down payment and make the move that way to get into the home you need to get into, closer to your job, whatever the case may be, whatever reason you need to move, but keep that loan. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's strategies, that we have that, kind of overcome those hurdles.
Yeah. The biggest thing is get 2007 and 2008 out of your head.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. I think that's the gift that we can give anybody, is just get 2007 and 2008 out of your head. Go do the research on it. Go look at the numbers. Look at the slides we're providing on this video. 2007, 2008 is a totally different situation than this market right now. It is a market where it was a buyer's market, not a seller's market. There was a ton more inventory. You can see on the slide we're showing right now. And with that, the reason for that was greed and bad policy. And that's just all there is to it. Greed and bad policy. Unfortunately, we live in a world where greed is a part of it, and we see bad policy also. And both of these things can really wreck people's lives. And that's what happened. And that's what happened during the Great Depression. We've never seen the market collapse like it did in 2007, 2008 since the Great Depression. And if you do your research, you'll find out it collapsed for the same exact reasons. Deregulation of the banks, insurance companies, and the Wall Street, and pushing for 80-90% home ownership. So do your research, look back at 2007, look back at 2008. You'll realize real quickly that we're in a different type of market. Listen to these economists that are in the real estate market. Watch the market news. Go and see what's happening at these new builders. Visit one of them in your market, wherever you are. Go over there and visit them. See how many houses they had 6 months ago and how many homes that they've sold since then. See how many homes that they're selling now. Look at the building that's going out there. There is tons and tons of demand for homes. And until that demand goes away, prices will continue to stay high. And that's what we're seeing with this inflation, with, so much demand, so much cash in the marketplace have pushed prices up. We have low inventory of oil and gas. We have really super high prices, supply and demand. So do you have anything to add, Brent? I mean, I know we put a lot on people today, but I really think that I'm really concerned for a lot of buyers and sellers out there. Please go watch this Priced Out of Paradise with Channel 5. Go look it up. Go to their website. If they've done a really good job with this, I've been just glued to it. So and I've been sending it to you. So go check it out. I'll leave the links below, so it makes it easy for you in the information section below. Anything you have to add, Brent?
No, I think you did a great job, Lee. I think just covering the pros and cons and just the facts, right? I mean, just, once you know the facts, you can make better decisions.
Yeah, I never tell people to share my videos, but this stuff that Brent and I talk about, I think is valuable information. Share it with people that you know that are in the market or thinking about getting the market. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. And if you have not subscribed, go ahead and slap that subscribe button right there. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our real estate tips and tours, and be kind to each other. And we'll see you next time.